Welcome everybody. I say welcome because we are in my home gym today. I'm here with Ray Simpson. He is a personal trainer here in the Westchester area. We're gonna give Dualbell a try here in my home gym. Ray, thanks for coming by.
My pleasure.
What are you looking forward to most about trying out Dualbell today?
Well, it seems like it's something that can be applied to a lot of different exercises. Being the nature of the implement that it is, I think you get a lot of good benefits from it. So stuff like overhead presses, bench presses, curls, something where you have to really move the bar through space to incur that sort of perturbation effect from the equipment. That's what I'm looking forward to doing.
Great. Well, we will certainly run through those and maybe a few others.
Sure.
Before we jump in, why don't you take a moment and tell everybody what it is that you do in your training business?
Okay. I've been a trainer for over 20 years. I've done everything from Olympic weightlifting, circuit training, kettlebells, boxing, the Viper. So I like a variety of implements. I like to pretty much do kettlebells, circuit training, but I do strength training as well, fat loss. That's why I'm looking forward to using this, the Dualbell, because it's another tool you can add to your toolbox.
Great. Well, I definitely see this as something you can apply in the workouts you're providing for your clients. So let's get started.
Let's do it.
Excellent.
So as I do this exercise with a deadlift, it's pretty much a hip hinge. As I hinge backward and slide the bar down my shins and stand, as you can see, probably see the dumbbells move just a little bit, and that adds like a little bit of a motivation effect to the exercise, makes it a little more recruit some stabilizing muscles because it adds a little bit of instability to the movement. What's interesting about it is a slight movement in the dumbbells that the Dualbell allows, dumbbells, and that adds a little interesting effect. The exercise as you're moving with plates, it's pretty much stable, you move up and down, but this has a little bit of a perturbation effect, and it adds another level to the exercise. So for one, you have to recruit rotator cuffs in the shoulder to keep the bar steady in your arm, right? Also the core musculature is engaged more because you want to maintain that stability in your spine as you move up and down, especially because it's loading your spine as you move through the exercise. So that incorporates a lot more of these muscles in the trunk to stay stable. Because I have that little additional component to it, I probably start a little bit lighter, especially for a beginner, even intermediate. And then once they get a feel for it and the body adjusts it, the nervous system adjusts that extra movement, then you can load it up and take it from there. It's a little more dynamic than the Romanian deadlift. As opposed to the deadlift, have your legs as a track to go up and down. This is moving more freely through space. So that way you get a little more movement in the dumbbells. Again, add a little more complexity in the movement. And so, again, stabilizing in the shoulder girdle, rotator cuffs, stabilizing the trunk as you move the bar through space. So, adds a little interesting touch to the exercise. The system has an additional thing to adjust to. Okay. Not just moving the weight, but stabilizing a little bit more than you would with regular plates. And so that's an added bonus. That was interesting too. Actually, I felt it more in this because there was more dynamic movement, right? You definitely feel a lot more. This is where the benefit of this equipment comes to the front because it's more dynamic. That means there's more movement in the dual bar. It means there's more reason to stabilize. It means that your body has to respond to that extra movement by stabilizing from your trunk to the shoulders to the legs, to the glutes. Everything has to be nice and tight because it encourages this type of movement. So you get more recruitment again, the nervous system, all your stabilizing muscles has to be turned on to do that. So you get, again, another layer of the exercise effect training effect. Stabilize my trunk to not, right, to resist that motion, and also my shoulders as well. Rotator cuffs locked in tight, tuck the shoulder in, and curl. The movement itself, the equipment, is more stable. It's static, you just move it through space. Yeah, if it's heavy, you can do a cheat code or whatever, but the equipment itself is stable, even if you move in this way. This is unstable, so to speak, because you get the movement in the equipment. And so that is the difference. My body has to be stable now to move that unstable equipment through space, and that's a big benefit. In bodybuilding, you talk about isolating muscles, isolating biceps, this and that, etc. But the body recognizes movement. And if you can get a wholly integrated movement, it benefits the body. So you can get a core workout just because of this movement in the exercise, just because of this, just because of all the different little perturbations and movements you get in equipment, your core musculature, your stabilizing muscle, they all have to be turned on. So you're not just the benefit of biceps, but trunk muscles, rotator cuff muscles. So it's like almost a whole body, functional workout you get in one movement because of the nature of the equipment. A little more slow, controlled movement actually gives the Dualbell opportunity to do this thing a little more, right? And so that slow, continuous movement with that added extra movement puts more on the body, more demands on the body to stabilize. I guess you can do it at a faster tempo to still move, but this way too is also a great benefit because you have that slow, continuous contracting muscle, full range of motion, but because it's slower, now you can really feel it because it's slow and you get a feel for it. And okay, I gotta stabilize because this is rocking a little bit more. So once I get to about here, up, I'm coming down. This point here, that's when I get a lot of movement in the dual bar here. So this, and I thought this exercise would be great for it too, just because of the arc in the movement. It's not a linear movement, it's curvilinear, so you get more out of it that way. So I think this is another great benefit. Good. Again, taking your time moving the bar through space, especially on the top, stabilize before you bring it back down again. So you saw, I don't know if you saw, I was locking on and going for a second, just to control that movement, and then bring it back down again. So the movement is always controlled. You get the benefit of the movement in the Dualbell, right? And it forces you to be more controlled in the movements, right? I guess you can move fast if you want to, but I think that's gonna take away a little bit of having to stabilize as you move about in a controlled manner. That felt good. So, 2 dumbbells, double the pleasure, double the fun, right?
Right.
Double the benefits. It's good. Again, the same thing. You see, I have to be slow and controlled. Now with 2 on, even though they're more or less in the same way, but because it's 2, you might have a little difference in each one. The heavy one versus the light one, I can tell, but I can definitely still feel that motion in the bar as I press up, control, and bring it back down. So it's great that you can use this to load up more than one dumbbell, like you load up more than one plate. So it's great to have this versatility in the equipment. I like the way it felt, because another interesting thing is because of the center of mass is outside the handle, it's a little lower. The plate it's equal all the way around. It's a different feel than if most of the mass is below the handle. So the way the mass is distributed is different. So you get a slightly different feel, and with the little movement adds another level of muscle recruitment and nervous system recruitment. I would say across the chest and in the shoulders, where you have to really stabilize here. Again, I have to keep the core nice and strong. And so, overall upper body stabilization as well as what I felt was at the bottom, when I come up, I felt a little movement on the top of the movement. But I think I felt it more with the front squat than the back squat.
But you still felt like, wow, I've got a serious amount of weight on my back.
I still got to stabilize. The trunk still has to be tight, for sure. I think the other exercises I felt it more than the squat. I think I felt it more in the front squat than the back squat. Maybe because it's more static exercise just on me. I mean, I felt it. Definitely felt it at the top, stabilized, and at the bottom, at the end points. It's probably moving a little bit in between, but with the movement, when it comes to a stop, it's still moving. So it's hold for a second, stabilize, bring it back down, still moving, stabilize, go again. So, just like with the cleans, it forces you to take a second to stabilize before you go into the next rep. So now your form is going to improve because you're not rushing through the exercise. You have to think and engage 100%. Your core and muscles bring it back down. So you feel that movement throughout, but especially at the ends of the movement, the top and the bottom. So stabilization, and as you get the fatigue a little bit, now you really got to stabilize because now it's still doing what it's doing, it's still moving. You have to make sure and stay tight. So it forces you to be dialed in 100% because of the equipment you have to do throughout. You gotta focus on what you're doing, and you wanna, really get that mind muscle connection. Okay, make sure my shoulder is packed nice and tight, make sure my core is nice and tight, my trunk, so my spine is stable. Bring it back down, stabilize here, drive again, right? So throughout the movement, you have to be 100% stable and dialed in.
Overall, do you feel like you're paying more attention to your movements here
Right.
than you've done?
Yes, because the plate is stable and it's equal mass around the pole, so it's evenly distributed. This is not stable, right? The center of mass is outside the handle, just like a kettlebell. So it has some of the benefits, the attributes of a kettlebell right here. So you can get the benefit of a kettlebell using this as well, how the center of mass is distributed. So at the top and at the bottom, you have to really be focused. Yes, we're doing a barbell with plates, you have to, of course, any exercise. But what I'm saying is that because the actual movement, that's another little, you're squeezing out just a little bit more out of the exercise. And sometimes just that little bit makes a big difference. You see how I'm puffing. Really interesting. Again, because it's so dynamic, the bell is doing its own thing. I tried this one because this is one I do a lot with the landmine, and I thought it would be good, but it was great. Stabilization, force production, and getting mentally dialed in. Because as I move the bar through space, the doorbell is doing this. And so all through the movement, I have to stabilize my shoulder, stabilize my core. So that's dynamic, I'm moving. So you put those two things together, and you're really, it's on full blast. And this is great for this landmine, this rotational lunge exercise. It's great for it. But hands down, much better than plate. You have to be mobile and stable. You have to be stable in your joints, and you still have to be mobile as you go through the exercise. So it's a lot of things happening at the same time. And because of this, the way it moves, it forces a lot more, again, stabilization, keeping mentally dialing with what you're doing, and just getting that next level of muscle recruitment, that next level of nervous system recruitment that you get more, you squeeze a little bit more out of the exercise than you would with a regular plate.
We are all done. Ray, thank you so much for doing that. That was fun, informative,
Fun, yes.
for me, as well as I hope for everybody who watched it. Just overall, what did you think?
I think it's a great tool. I love it. I love the different level of muscle recruitment and nervous system recruitment you get out of it because of that little instability and little perturbation effect you get from it. Some of the exercises was brutal. It really forces you to dial in on the exercise. It really forces you to stabilize, use your core muscles, use your stabilizing muscles. And I think you get a lot of bang for your buck from this tool.
Thank you very much. Did you have a favorite exercise? One, more than one?
Well, some of my favorite exercises because it killed me. The landmine row, the landmine rotational lunge, that really forced me to stabilize a lot because there was dynamic movements from the actual equipment and me moving the equipment through space, and that really forced me to stabilize a lot. The cleans as well, you have to stabilize a lot. The overhead presses, you have to stabilize at the top of the movement because the Dualbell is moving and at the bottom. So I think what they carry over is if you go back to using plates, regular weights, you train to stabilize throughout that full range of motion. So you have that added benefit as well.
And how do you think your clients would respond to using something like this?
I think it's a great addition because sometimes people can't, you tell them engage your core, brace or tighten hands. They don't get it sometimes. This will force you automatically, okay, I gotta stabilize, I gotta stay tight here. And so you're gonna train your client's core doing these other exercises without having to do a core exercise. Without doing a core exercise because all the muscles are engaged.
Right.
And so it's more bang for the buck.
And so then obviously you work with people so they're under your supervision when they're exercising with you. What about the person that is working out at home on their own? They own just either a pair of adjustable dumbbells or a set of dumbbells. What would you say to them about using this product?
I would say to get your workouts to the next level, you should get a pair of these Dualbells because what it does, it adds another level of complexity to the exercise. So it's a basic curl. You will feel that as you move the bar through space. You feel a difference in it because of the movement of the Dualbell. You're forced to stabilize a lot more. So it's not just a curl that you move in a bar through space. You're stabilizing, getting more muscles involved, and so there's added benefits to it.
And how did you feel putting it on, taking it off? Was that something you felt easy about?
Yeah, I mean, it's just what you could do. You put the dumbbell in there, you scoop it, slide it in, lock it in. It's, yeah.
Nice and quick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, we will wrap this up. Ray, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Great to spend a little time with you and
Yeah.
and have you move through this. Appreciate it very much.
My pleasure.
And we will see you in the next one.